And we're live. Hello and welcome to the 219th episode of Hex Therapy Live. I'm your host, Maddie Allen, with special guest, Captain RG3. Welcome.
Hey, Maddie, what's happening, bud? Thanks for calling me a special guest.
Hell yeah. Well, you're the most loyal Hexican of them all. And I really appreciate everything you've done over the years for this community. So I'm excited to have you on the show tonight. We're broadcasting earlier than the normal time, but still on the same day. So everybody hit the like and subscribe button and share this out. You're in the right place. Hex Therapy Live.
And just to thank you for that too, for giving me a couple extra hours, so I'm not up at 1-2 o'clock in the morning, because I'm in Portugal right now, enjoying the surf and the beautiful atmosphere out here. I just love this place.
What a cool surfboard. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
How's it been treating you out there?
Oh, it's nice, man. It's really nice out here. I came to Portugal a while ago to look at. I've been looking around the world to find like a second home to call a residence. And I've been to Puerto Rico, I've been to Malta, I've been all over the place. And something about this place here, Portugal, that, I'm a Californian born and raised, and straight out of Long Beach. Me and Snoop Dogg born out of the same hospital. And so California is near and dear to my heart, but Portugal is like, if I was to take the best of California, which in my opinion are the culture and everything of San Francisco, minus the filth, and San Diego, minus some of the filth, and if you were to clean those two places up and stick them together, that's the south of Portugal. And it just reminds me of home, the weather, the atmosphere, the people. It's just a very hospitable, very nice place to call a residence. There's a lot of places I've visited that I've liked, but I would never want to live there. Like London. I love London for whatever reason. I like London. I like it, but I just never live there, but Portugal is a whole different experience. It's just gorgeous here.
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool. Lazy Hexican says pirates do be surfing.
Yep. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And the surf has been phenomenal here. Oh my gosh. I was up in Nazaré. I don't know if you know what Nazaré is, but Nazaré is up on the northwest side of Portugal. And that's where if you've ever seen that big wave that just the camera backs off and the guy turns into an ant and he's on this wave just riding down, and you see the lighthouse and everything. That's Nazaré. It's one of the world's biggest waves ever ridden. And time before I went there was no surf, and then this time I went there, it went off. And I literally, as a surfer, my whole life, being able to experience and see surfers being towed out into the real waves of Nazaré and watching them break at 30, 35 feet. And that's a third of the size of what they get for championship waves. And it was just, I was awestruck watching this, and being a surfer. It's just like once in a lifetime gig to actually see the waves break at Nazaré. So that was cool. Loved it. So yeah, it's treating me well out here. This place is like, it's perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great to hear.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I've run into a couple of Hexicans out here. I was in Panama for an event and ran into some Hexicans that are leaving from there to Portugal from the No Permissions guys event, and came back over here with them. And as they got home, everybody got sick, by the way, from Panama, except for me. But that event was great. This community we're really growing. We're really growing. We're really getting support together and pumping each other's bags. As far as the events go and all that. So it's been really cool to see that other Hexicans are building stuff.
Hell yeah, that's exciting. Well, definitely the energy always gets turned up whenever there are meetups in real life and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm glad to hear that the no permissions thing in Panama went so well. I know that Fast Abdul was filling us in on that a little bit on our Tuesday show.
Yeah, he's doing really good. He was there at the event, and first time he and I got to meet, so that was cool. And he's a really good dude, man. He's just funny in real life as he is, on stage.
Right on. So what's coming up? What are you what's next for people in the in-person stuff?
So of course, we got the Pulse 369 event, which coining that is give credit to you. When you and I were first working on our first event, we tried to put that together, and the timing of the event and whatnot didn't work out. But we said, hey, let's use that name to kind of keep all the other things separate and use it as our event. And so because this year it worked out pretty good to do it on March 6th through the 9th over the weekend, it panned out. So the Pulse 369 event's going on in Vegas, and Vegas is always a good place for meetups, for people to go and get there easy. Like from anywhere in the world, you can always find a deal on an air flight to get to Vegas. And
right.
And hey, who doesn't want to go to Vegas? For a crypto event or anything, because there's so many different extracurricular activities that you can do while you're there, on top of the convention that you're at or whatever. And then of course we're putting together an event that's going to have a golf tournament, and then speaker after speaker after speaker, big party. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun.
Well, yeah, you guys put on an excellent event last year on March 6th through 9th and in Vegas. And of course that actually marked the top for all of crypto. That was the local top, was on the 9th. And so Pulse Chain had just finished this run from the end of the online HEX conference when we were like at the absolute lows of PHEX and Inc. and PulseX and Pulse. And it went on this amazing run for like 2 months. You got like a 20x in Inc. You got like a 10 or 15x in PulseX, 10x in Pulse. Like it was glorious. And it all, it all topped out with PulseX hitting SAC rate at, whatever, 3 zeros and a 1 on
well,
the
you had
9th.
to mention that. It all dumped right after the event.
And Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, everything. It wasn't just the Pulse Chain ecosystem. It was Pulse Chain. It was Bitcoin and Ethereum that also peaked at that time. And but I think it's interesting because the Bitcoiners, now they've moved their conference from 2 years ago. It was in Miami. Then this last year it was in Nashville. Well, finally they're following us, and they're going to have their conference in May in Vegas. So I think we're ahead of the curve here.
Oh yeah, we blow them away, bro. I mean, when it comes to putting on events, I mean, and again, credit where credit's due. When I did the first meetup was like 5 Hexicans in a park under a tree, right? And
yes.
That was it. And then we said, hey, let's do a real event and bring everybody to Vegas, and you and I started working on it. And then you took the ball and ran and said, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. And me, I was just like, hey, yeah, sure, Maddie, have at it, and before I knew it, we had this like incredible event. And me not being the one to want to put too much effort into it, I just followed your lead, and it turned into a really good event. And then of course, the following season, we tried to do it again, and other hands got in it and kind of took it away from what you and I had originally, between the two of us had tried to accomplish. And then, that made us all go our separate ways to try and make things work. And then you successfully created, the online HEX event that is just blowing doors off every single year. And so we decided with the Pulse Chain Tour to pick up the ball and say, hey, we got to keep these in-person events going. So let's do this. Let's do it right. I brought in the right team,
Right.
with KC and SJ. and they put it together. And without them, of course, we wouldn't be able to do it. So the two of them and their expertise with, putting in all the work. And this year is going to be phenomenal. We're going to blow everybody's socks off when it comes to crypto. I've been to you and I both were at the Bitcoin Miami event, and, it was big, but it was really, I don't know. It didn't really like excite me. The people weren't involved together. It was like you were there at the event and you weren't really a participant. Here it's a party, it's a family atmosphere. It's, we're going to have a cigar lounge. We're going to have a golf tournament. We're going to have a laser light party, opening ceremony. It's going to be just, phenomenal. And then all the people that we all know already are going to be on stage, and they're going to be speaking and, hanging out in the green room with folks and doing meetups and there's going to be hotel parties and all that kind of stuff. VIP event. I mean, it's just, it's really a big extravaganza, versus the things that I've seen. And it's, I dig what we're doing.
Yeah. Yes. So I'll run through the history by the numbers. So there was the crypto Sparbach team that put together over 40 meetups across the USA, and they called that the HEX tour. And so that was run
by KC also. She run that. She put that together.
Yeah, and that occurred like in late 21. Basically, and into the beginning of 2022, whenever HEX was on its incredible run up, an extra 100x after the 100x that had already happened. And then I had put together, actually that tour started because I had put on a meetup in June, at the end of June of 2021. We did a meetup in Vegas that had 369 people. And I remember T-Money and Crypto Sparbach sitting at the table saying, hey, we need to buy a car and go on a tour across the country. And so that was born out of that event. And then I did like a formal conference in Vegas for 4 days on March 6th through 9th of 2022. And that's around the time that Hedron had launched. And so all of that was happening, and the highest of stakes was like out there filming Kareem, looking at his wallet and that kind of stuff. Super exciting times. And HEX had like already peaked, but had like, was going into like another peak basically. And intro to
the movie, all the different Hexicans you see speaking to the cards that they're reading, that was all the Hexicans lined up in the hotel in Vegas, and the highest of stakes was bringing them all in and filming that.
Yeah, that's an epic opening to the movie. All those interviews that you see where they're reading the card and it has one word and stuff like that. So yeah, that's epic. And so that event sold 555 tickets. So we know that the attendance was at least that high. And of course, Richard had been doing like intentionally smaller meetups throughout Europe and everything. And then there was the event that the highest of stakes put on in London and everything. And then for me, I've done like smaller stuff, like in Austin, I put on a meetup. Maybe we had like 100 people during the bear market, but really in between there had been this bad actor that came along, who I ended up not working with, T-Money, who put on something called Pulse Con, which ended up actually being a con. And he had embezzled money from the community and from donors and even from individuals in the community. And so that was a tragedy for anybody who puts on events, to see the community get taken advantage of. And
it's hard washing that off too,
right?
Because this event isn't the T-Money event. This event isn't that crew, that team, and put in that style and fashion. We've narrowed this down to scaling it to affordability, to putting the best content creators, the best content, the best fun and excitement that we can for the value, you know. And then you and I remember when we talked about that, we've got to bring the value, and there's no way that you're going to bring value to a $750,000 event when you're, you know, it's just too difficult to do with a community that we have, you know.
Right. So I've been extra enthusiastic about your group running in-person events as I've stepped away from that, because you filled a need in the community that had been exploited, and you came along with your flawless reputation and with your trusted history in the community. And so I don't worry anymore about people getting taken advantage of. And I don't worry that people aren't going to get the special experience of being able to meet up in person. HEX really did the big things that it's done, you know, started basically during the pandemic, when people weren't even being allowed by the government to like get together and move and meet each other and be in person. And so it is really special that people are able to get together, because all of these bonds have been created through 15-year staking and through being gatekept by the entire crypto and the corrupt crypto industry and the corrupt SEC. This coming together in person is something that I think is really special.
It is, you know, and I saw that at the No Permissions meetup too. You know, they were just getting their first event done. Their group is strong and very committed to you know, their leadership and their community. But it's the same as us. You know, they're the same type of DeFi enthusiasts. You know, I love their tag, no permissions. Like, we're not asking anybody permission to go do what we're doing. We don't need Richard's permission. We don't need the SEC's permission. We don't need YouTubers' permission or crypto's permission. We're doing it our way, organically, as we always have, you know. And that's why all of these lawsuits and everything that they've tried to throw at all of us, every time they've tried to shut one of us down on YouTube, the community's come back, and we've always been able to stand on the fact that Richard Hart didn't build this community. We built this community. All of us together built this community. Richard Hart gave us the tools to go out and do it. He gave us real DeFi tools that no other crypto has. He gave us real products and real tools that we can go out and a community can fail and fall and have issues and have people come in and try and scam and all this other stuff. But as long as it has the fundamentals behind it, like HEX and Pulse Chain, and Richard keeps throwing these things out there and busting crypto and the rest of the fiat world and the chops, we can't fail. We just have to keep getting up and doing what we're doing and keep moving forward and keep moving forward. And the naysayers be damned, because we're not going to stop. We're going to keep doing it, because every lawsuit has failed on us because we aren't doing what they say we're doing. They think that Richard Hart is bankrolling all of us to go and do this, and that is not the case.
And it's pretty historic that we aren't getting paid by a founder to go out and do these things. Like, that hasn't happened in crypto before. And so, it is very historic, and also highly offensive that that we're being accused of something that when it's even more than the opposite is true. It's like, you know, there's great sacrifice that goes into putting on events and into being a leader in a truly decentralized community.
Yeah. And, you know, and shout out to all the people out there doing it, like Randy of Nope and all the guys that are doing that stuff to say, you know what, we're not going to stop. We're not going to let you intimidate us. We're going to continue to build, because, you know, we know we're doing nothing wrong. We know we're on the right side of history. We know we're bringing something good to the world. And it just so happens that a guy by the name of Richard Hart is the one who brought these things to us and said, here, have at it. I've got nothing else for you, but here, I built this. Go use it if you want, and show it to people. You know, it's the best crypto ever made, and here it is. You make the decision, and we all have, and that's what has built this community. So we're on a rock solid foundation. We know everything is undervalued that is here right now. And from the looks of it, from the looks of what has been going on in the last couple of days, we are about to punch crypto in the chops. And I mean, it looks like it sure does look like Richard is about to own crypto, like all of it. Like BlackRock and Grayscale, you guys can have your centralized bull crap, and the maxis, we know they sold out and gave you all the Bitcoin. But when it comes to DeFi, we own it. We, the people, the community, and there is no real founder. The founder was a benevolent guy that said, here's the stuff, you guys go do it. It's just, it's really good. And that's what gives me the conviction to keep doing what we're doing. And even though we had a horrendous, ridiculous, hard bear market, we didn't stop. We kept going. If we had 10 people in a room in Germany and we traveled halfway across the world to go do it, damn it, we did it. We did it, and we gave those 10 people the same experience that we would give 1,000 people, 500 people. We made sure that we put on, we gave them exactly what they wanted, and that was, Hex pulse chain content, and we gave them a place to meet and meet up with people and meet the people that they wanted to know more from, and we kept doing it during the bear market, and now here we all still are, here we are, and now we're about to see some glory days. We really are.
Yeah. So, I mean, what does it mean for the game theory? What does it mean for the person who's new into Hex in the past year or two? What do you think it means that the origin address yesterday staked hundreds of billions of Hex?
Well, here's the thing I say to that. First, don't ever try and figure out what Richard Hart is trying to do, because usually you're wrong. I've seen the community say, oh, he's doing this or he's doing that. We don't even know who's doing it,
right.
But it's positioning. And when the sleeping giant wakes and positioning starts to happen, hold on to your hat. Hold on to your hat, because we're about to go on a ride, and I don't know where it's going to go or how this is going to take us. I have a lot of theory about the moves and stuff that I don't like talking about. I don't want to throw moon math and stuff like that out there to people and false hopium, because that's never who I've always been. A very realistic kind of person when it comes to all of this stuff, because you never know which direction it's going to take. But I know that it's positioning, and I know that it's surprising a lot of people. And I mean, we saw a move the other day where, he started promoting this shitcoin factory, it surprised a lot of people. It made a lot of people happy, but it also pushed Pulse Chain up to number 4 in blockchain lists, and it also put the volume of trading volume up way out there beyond other things. It also made room for people to start burning Pulse, and all those things were positives, and Richard knows what he's doing. And when he does things like this, it's always to the benefit of those who are in the ecosystem for the long run. The staking, for instance, the staking just basically diluted. You remember when the OA moved to stop people from shorting Hex on the stakes, big payday. It was like a big slap in the face to all those people that were ready to dump. And it looks like that's what's going on. It's like, don't short-term stake anymore, because I just cut you in half. I just cut your legs out from under you. It's about long-term staking. That's what Hex has always been about. That's what it is about. And I think that the OA staking was just kind of hitting a half for your ass, like, hey, straighten up and fly right. It's time to get ready, because we're getting ready to make some moves, guys.
Well, I wondered myself, even after I did a live stream yesterday with Crispy for like an hour and a half, where we were discussing the possibilities. But then I thought, even after the stream, wait a second, there's another angle it could have been. With the new administration in the United States, coming up with a regulatory framework for crypto, I realize it very well could be that by burning the OA supply for 7 days and making it so that those coins no longer exist, that could have been a step that needed to be taken in order to fill out some paperwork, in order to get registered with the new SEC, or to like meet some kind of criteria that the new administration is looking for. So it may have the advantage of decreasing this week's HEX inflation, so that whoever is doing these short-term stakes and dumping their coins, like maybe they have to stake a little bit longer in order to get the same return. But it also could be some bigger play, because we know that whenever the OA acts on something, it's like typically for the health of the entire system. And that's why I think it'll be so interesting to see what the developments are a week from now. Even in the next week, will the HEX case get dismissed? I mean, you and I were both there in New York. What did you think of that spectacle in the SEC courtroom?
Well, I mean, I've gone over that ad nauseum with people, and I mean, obviously, and you were there. You had to be there to feel the energy in the room, and to feel the energy coming from the judge, to feel the energy coming from Richard's team, to feel the energy coming from the SEC's team. That, I think, right there for me was like that was it for me. That solidified how I felt about it, was their attitudes. And and then all the things that were said. I mean, you could dissect it and go over each and every one, but the judge was impressed with Richard Hart and his record and what he had said and what he had done and how he had did it. It didn't sound like she saw him doing anything wrong. She was questioning the SEC as to why they were accusing him of all these things. And then there was even a moment in the middle of it where the lawyers on Richard's team said, he was going through the timeline, and there was 24 million raised for charity during the sacrifice phase. And she kind of stopped the courtroom and said, wait, he raised 24 million for charity? And when she said that, it was like, she was like almost telling the SEC, like, wait, you guys are going after this guy? He raised saying everything he did, on top of you guys acting like fools in front of me so far. He raised 24 million for charity? And you're trying
27 million for charity, and these clowns are talking about $12 million of like what was basically a marketing expense of like diamonds and cars and stuff. But like,
you're telling me what you want me to tell him what he should be doing with his money?
Right.
Like, are we trying to tell this man what to do with his money? She was like, I don't care if he bought diamonds and Lambos, and it was just like one thing after another, and her attitude just kept going. She was almost in disbelief that the SEC was bringing the case as they were bringing it, and then they tried to change their it's either a complaint or whatever, their write up in the middle of it, and Richard's lawyers were like, hey, did they write it already, or are we rewriting this right now? And it's like, you guys can't rewrite your complaint in the middle of the case here. And so they were like shoved back down again. So it was just one thing after another. So that's how I felt about it. I was very bullish. The lawyers were just awesome. They talked to all of us and thanked the gallery, all of us, for being there, and shook our hands. And they didn't just kind of like snuff off and walk away, kind of snooty. They were like, hey, you guys, they could almost say that like Richard appreciated us being there. It was really warm feeling. And even when they made a little snide remark about the gallery, about us being there, the judge shut it down. Was like, we ain't going. You're not even going to go there. Don't even talk about the public that's here. Right. So that's how I felt about it. It was very bullish. And I think that we may hear a decision really, really soon. Obviously, the date has passed, so that's kind of, to say that is whatever. But we should be hearing really soon. I feel real confident that the case will be dismissed. To be completely honest, is my thoughts on it.
I mean, like it was a highlight from the moment she started. The judge saying like, "You guys aren't really telling the SEC like." You're not really charging software code here, are you? Like, that got thrown out immediately. Like, in terms of the sentiment. I'm not going to say like that it was thrown out like, well, I don't know. Maybe it was kind of like actually decided upon that, that you can't sue code.
She kind of made that clear right up. First thing, that was like the first agenda of that. So so that's how I feel about it. I'm really excited. The timing couldn't have been, better. It just seems like it's all coming together at the right time. We get this dismissal, and some of the other stuff goes away as the SEC is defanged. I forget the guy's name, Tarantino, whatever his name is, that was just put into the mailroom. He was the head of all of the witch hunts in crypto.
The top crypto litigator gets moved to the IT department.
I like to call it the basement with his stapler and his desk up against the wall, So, so I mean, defanging the SEC. I saw yesterday they were putting together a team that's actually putting tracks to run on, rules and regulations for crypto. It's like priority. Let's take the cuffs and the ankle chains off of the crypto developers and let them take the US into the lead in crypto technology. And so it's just looking good all around. I can't be more excited. I mean, this feels like the early days before the OA, before big payday and all that. It just feels like we're right there, ready, chomping at the bit. And any minute now, like, I mean, you and I both know it doesn't take much money to pump these things to the moon. And when all the shackles are off and it's time to move, it moves, and it moves fast. And you just, you got to be ready for it, because it's coming, man. Hey, what's up, Pulse Radio Vision? Yeah, he was in panel with me too.
One of my
friends. Yeah, Hex forever, baby. Hex forever. I'm here for the Moon Master. Hey, what's up, Hex? He can't wait to tell us good news. He can't wait. I bet. And he's going to be looking jacked too. He's going to be like, boom, ready to go, lose all his weight and everything. Right. Oh, hey, while you're doing that, I'm going to go over, if you don't mind, I'd like to go over kind of the agenda for the tour as far as what's. So on the 6th is going to be Thursday, registration day. It's going to be a dance party. So we're going to start the evening and then party to kick off. It's going to be a DJ Laser Light show. We're going to go with a bang and have a big party. I'll be having anybody who wants to get involved and go into a cigar lounge. I'm going to have a little trip to a cigar lounge, a local lounge there, have some cigars and hang out and kick it. The conference is going to start on the 7th. So the next day on Friday the 7th and the 8th is going to be all-day conference events. You can scroll down and go to the speakers. There's going to be, you name it. Everybody that you see on YouTube is going to be there, from Coffee to SJ, you name it. DCC is going to be there. Whitney, I don't want to name everybody. Crispy Man, who is on your show often, is going to be. So you're going to have all these speakers there. One of my special guests as speaker is going to be Zach Conine. He's the treasurer of Nevada, and he's really leaned into crypto. And as far as HEX and DeFi, he's all about it. He wants to know about it. He wants to know what's going on. He wants to talk to us about legislation and what's going to be happening in the future, and what the state of Nevada is doing. He's also, given access to, all of the other politicians that are in Nevada that are all crypto friendly. and they want to help and they want to be a part of, and they want to learn and educate also at the same time, so that us, the crypto communities, and the legislators can start building relationships and start to grow and flourish together, because they know what's coming. They all know what's coming. And that's why, he's speaking there. He's not afraid to come and talk to us. So that's really exciting.
That is cool.
So yeah, after that, the 9th, which is Casey's freaking Crypto Culture's baby. She puts on the most amazing golf tournament. Right now, I think our prize pool. So this is kind of interesting to find out in history what's going on with this. But this golf tournament has a close to $50,000 in crypto prizes. And who knows where it will be come March 9th. That crypto prize might be close to 100,000 plus if we see a nice big pump in some of those tokens on this ecosystem. So the crypto prize is up there and it's getting higher. And that means that we're also bringing in other golfers from outside the crypto space because they're excited about what's happening. And it's kind of an onboarding tool. So Crypto Culture went to Vegas either today or tomorrow. She's going, and she's literally going to go make sure that all of our posters, all of our signage and everything is at that golf club so that all the golfers know. And then she's going to go hit other clubs and other places to let them know, hey, there's going to be a badass golf tournament out here with about $50,000+ worth of crypto prizes. And last year at the golf tournament, we had 4 golfers that were not crypto enthusiasts or owners, or they were no coiners. And those guys that won had to make wallets to get their prizes, and now they're Hexicans. So it's really a cool event. That's going to be fun. I'm going to have a special little cigar rolling deal there for people going onto the golf course. We're going to have each hole sponsored by one or another of the crypto projects that are built on Pulse Chain. Will be out at the golf holes to be there to hand out T-shirts and stickers and do all kinds of cool stuff and have a good time that day. So the Pulse Masters Golf Tournament is on the 9th, and that is going to be a whole bunch of fun. And anybody can be there. And I mean, hey, if you're a golf ringer, you might want to come see if you can win that prize because there's going to be some serious crypto there. I think this is going to be a historic event when it comes to prize money.
Right. Yeah, that's so cool. The prize is one Axis token. Is that right?
No. There's way more crypto than that in it. But yeah, there was one Axis token in there. And at one point it was worth 50,000. Now it's dipped a little bit during the dip, but I'm sure and we've got other crypto too. It's not just Axis token. We've got a whole bunch. And the last thing I'd like to mention is that we've pretty much got all the big vendors spaces filled, but there's also room for anybody who wants to. There's a couple of golf holes left. And some small, things in the venue. If you'd like your project or anything like that to still be represented at Pulse Chain Tour, you could get a hold of Crypto Culture. Casey, she's also known as Black Hexican. And you can reach her or DM me and I'll get you in touch with her. There's still a little space for projects and people who want to, either support or be part of.
I've got your Twitter pinned and linked in the description below. Nice. Yeah. So go ahead and DM me if you're still looking to get involved. And hey, I don't golf at all. Like, I'm a surfer. Golf is not my thing. But going down to the golf course, hanging out and having a good time, you don't have to be a golfer to go and have a good time. There's going to be in the clubhouse. Everybody will be partying, having fun and hanging out. So that will be there. No, don't DM him, DM me. So my producer and my assistant knows me very, very well. Wild S says, don't DM me, DM her. So scratch that. Don't DM the captain because you probably won't get through the right channels. But if you DM a Wild SJ, and everybody knows a Wild SJ, you can get a hold of her and she will get you with Crypto Culture and show you how to participate if you still want to participate. And plus, there's a lot of tickets left. Everybody that you can get tickets. We're not full. The rooms aren't full.
as far as, participants just showing up and wanting to be part of the event. There's tickets for everything still. You can go to pulsechaintour.com and see all that, and come hang out and have fun with us in Vegas. It's going to be a badass event.
I got an email yesterday, and by the way, I'm dropping the contact info for a Wild SJ, so people don't get it wrong, because you don't want to send your sponsorship money to like an imposter or something. So only x.com/awildsj, and it's on the screen there. I got an email that that you guys had created custom Twitter banners for people to advertise if they're going to the event, or even if they're supporting the event. Like either way, you can update your Twitter header so that, and I see that SJ has that herself here on Twitter, so maybe I can show that off. There we go. Yeah, so that's really cool. Good job on that, guys.
Oh, thanks. It was SJ's, and Casey's idea to put all those up, and like, hey, let's show our solidarity and our strength and our pride for what we're doing here, and get people to support, because you and I we put on the events, and these are HEX events. They're HEX and Pulse Chain events, and Richard made a tweet, not too long ago about, hey, don't go to these events. They're garbage. And I know both you and I that night swallowed our gum going, Richard, bro, like we're here doing this for the community. We're losing money every year doing this, and we're continuing to do this because of the importance of it. And I think that his message, as usual, got misconstrued, like most of his cryptic messages do. And people said, "Oh yeah, don't go to that event. That's that's a scam or whatever." And that's far from the truth. I will still stand here to this day, being the guy that has always stood on the wall for this community, always been there for this community, spent my own money for this community, and have not taken a dime out of it. And this event is the same thing. It's not taking a dime. I barely get to pay these folks that are putting it on and doing it, and it's cost me money every year. Even the world tour that we did. I mean, you got to imagine, you go to Germany and you sit down with 15 people, 20 people. That doesn't pay for 3 of you flying across the country and putting on an event in an event center. It costs you money to. I mean, they charge you per electrical outlet. They charge you to put a screen up on the wall. They charge you to have a microphone. They charge you to get people in the door. They charge you for the food that we bring. All that stuff.
The conference grift is nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for the vendor, basically like the space that we have to get is like really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not cheap to put on an event in Vegas. You've got to bring the money, and you've got to pay it up front. And it's not hey everybody. I mean, we saw what happened when somebody tried to do that before, and it turned into a disaster. But we've scaled it properly with the help of SJ, and of course, Casey's brilliance of understanding and knowing these things and how to navigate them. We've been able to scale it properly. It's been a stressful struggle. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But we've been able to put it together, make it work, make it valuable, and make it affordable as possible. These events aren't for everybody. This is for people who are convicted, that want to network, that are looking to build, that are looking to be more in this community than just a participant or a 2D participant, which is, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with any of that, but this is just another level of support, another level of bringing people together and networking. There's been projects that have come from this. There has been YouTubers that have come from this, and streamers. There have been marriages and babies and all that kind of stuff come out of this stuff. So, I mean, it's a big deal, and we're proud of it.
Well, and I explained actually to Hexologist when I went on like a Twitter Spaces with him a couple weeks ago, and my assessment, having been to many of these in-person events, is that this is what helps retain the whales and the
Yeah.
sharks. And that's literally half of the equation of how you get the price to go up is half of it is new demand and half of it is supply. And if you create a community vibe where like people want to stick around and it means more to them than it ever has because they're experiencing an in-person event, like that makes a difference on the price chart, and that it becomes a net positive. And so, yeah, I think I've spoken up and kind of spoken against Richard on the topic of conferences in particular, because I know that, because like I'm there in person at them and I'm seeing who's there and how the people who are there are acting before and after the event and stuff. And so I really think it's a big deal. And anybody who's not supporting people in the community getting together and like celebrating the bonds that they've created by making 15-year stakes, well, yeah, like maybe you don't get it, but I hope someday you do.
Yeah, well, let me speak to that real quick too, Maddie. And there's a perfect example in the chat room right now. Not me, and I'm not banging on you, not me. Your question is legitimate, but let me give you an answer to that. So why not just put all that money into the coins instead? Check this out, bro. What we're doing here, the money that we're putting into, I'm telling you, it is not for everybody. Not everybody can jump on a plane, go to Vegas, and spend a few $100s and network and have a good time and participate in showing who we are, putting a face on Pulse Chain. Not everybody can do that. It takes a certain type of person in this community that can do that. Now, here's the other thing. We can say, why waste money on that? Why waste money on cigarettes and alcohol and junk food and Coca-Colas and garbage that you don't need? You're all going to do that. If we took all of that money, how about if we took all of that money and put that into crypto? How about if we put all your bad habits and put that into crypto? Now we'd really be pumping, wouldn't we? No, we're putting something together that's good, that's organic, and that is helping the community, and the people that can and want to spend the money to come and be there and do what we're doing. Those are the people that come, and those are the people that help and build and create a better place for all of us because of it. So that's my answer to that, is that narrative is garbage, because all of you, everybody, myself included, spend money on garbage. And if we put that into crypto, we'd pump our bags. So let's just put that question to the side, because I'm tired of hearing that one.
Yeah, like the whole point of crypto is to not tell other people what to do with their money.
Exactly.
There are 2 discount codes that I want to like promote here. And so you would go to the website and you should do it now. You should go to pulsechaintour.com and I think /conference. And you can support like the content creators I'm mentioning here, Crispy Man, who you all know, and then also, and that's his discount code. So you get 10% off, and then he earns a free ticket or something. So Crispy Man, no space, no quotes, just Crispy Man, one word. And then another discount code that you could choose to use is for Nuclear Herbs, our favorite non-lawyer commentator, legal commentator. And his code is Nuke the SEC, no spaces, no quotes, Nuke the SEC. So if you're getting your ticket now on Replay Gang, or if you're watching live, go ahead and use one of those 2 codes to get 10% off.
So Zenith is trying to put a plug in. I won't, since this is what you've promoted this show and you've got it, I won't say, but hey, Zenith and the DGen Roundtable, you guys are killing it out there. Good job, Zenith.
Oh, good job. Yeah, those guys rock.
They're the best, man. They've volunteered their time to come and help at the Pulse 369 event. You know, it's guys like that and gals, because I won't say one of their producers is helping us immensely. And they're not doing it for money or for anything like that. They're doing it to help the event, and we've got a lot of people. And when we start the event, we got people helping with the stuff and taping down wires and all that kind of thing that, we don't have a crew per se, but those guys have stepped up and said, hey, we're your crew. We're going to help you do whatever you need to do. We're going to be there. And even beforehand, putting things together and whatnot. So again, just showing what this community is all about. DGen Roundtable guys are just killing it and helping us.
Well, yeah, and I'm not sure if I can make it to this one, but I really hope that I can. And yeah, just really excited to know that there's going to be the right people coming together and celebrating for this community.
Yeah, no, Maddie, thank you for being who you are, doing your thing, and putting on the online event and helping us, build this in the beginning. You were a big part of it too, and I know you said, hey, here's where I can be, I can provide best for the community is doing this, and I'm focused my energy on it. So I took that as a call to pick up the reins and go move this on, so that you didn't have to.
Oh, yeah.
Do both,
Oh, yeah.
and this is my wheelhouse. Yeah. It feels good doing. I like getting in front of people, and meeting with Hexicans and shaking hands or what is it, shaking babies and kissing hands, and then high fives, handshakes, and hugs is always good when it comes to this community. Did I lose you, Maddie? Or are you choking on your drink there? I hope he's okay. So I'm kind of joking.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit. And then, yeah, so I think like the pattern that's happening here for the conferences and events, excuse me, is so the HEX conference every year for 5 years has been January 6th through 9th. And yeah, so like that's a long running tradition. And then, of course, you guys have really done an outstanding job, and I hope will continue to do an outstanding job during the March 6 through 9 events that you've put on. And then I think for the online Pulse Chain conference, which is pulsechainconference.com, you're going to see that continuing to happen every basically every May for the launch anniversary of Pulse Chain. So May, in the middle of May is when Pulse Chain launched, and so the next online pulsechainconference.com will be happening again this year, the same time that it happened last year in the middle of May.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, no, we're going to keep going, Maddie, until we fill up stadiums. And there's one particular stadium that I got my eye on. And it's this ball in Las Vegas that I'd like to see filled, called the Sphere. So let's see if we can get Pulse 3 to fill up the Sphere one day.
Oh, that would be incredible. And you've been saying that since the beginning of HEX, making that prediction that we'll fill up stadiums, and I believe it.
Yep. Until we do that, we're not stopping.
It's incredible. So also congratulations on making it so affordable for people to buy a ticket for your PLS 369 conference here. Making it $369 probably wasn't easy. But I guess that's the cost for general admission.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, and even our I couldn't tell you the exact price, but even our VIP event is affordable. I mean, the event that just happened in Vegas recently was, like $4,000 or $5,000. And then you try and get a VIP event at a Bitcoin event. I mean, those are $10,000, $15,000 tickets. You're paying a lot of money to go to a VIP event. And you're meeting much more people, that's for sure. The people when you go to a VIP event at a HEX convention, you're getting real DeFi I mean, hardcore developers, streamers, people that really care about DeFi, the cutting edge of DeFi, Richard Hart enthusiasts that are on the cutting edge of his technologies, you know, there with you, meeting, greeting, talking, strategizing, maybe even building a business relationship with you or something. But that's what you get from these events. Way much more value than any Bitcoin event can get you.
Right. You know, that reminds me, I got 2 emails from the Bitcoin conference today, and they forgot to put in the dates of when the conference is.
Oh, really?
Right.
Casey said, you know, general mission should include an open bar with reception and food, 2 lunches, and an awesome experience. So, I mean, that's what you get at the event there for the general mission.
That's a really awesome deal in Las Vegas, because I know how hard I worked to keep the cost down on those events. And so I admire that you guys were able to make that deal and pass those savings along to the community. Good job.
Yep. Thank you. And then all credit goes to Black Hexican, because she is just, when it comes to it, she's a bulldog, and she don't let anybody take our money, take our value. She makes sure we squeeze every bit of blood out of those turnips, man.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, I'll drop the link in the chat one more time here for people to go ahead and get their ticket for the PLS 369 event that's coming up in just under 1 month.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get ready, everybody. Get ready. Here we come. Buckle in. It's time. It's time for 3, 2, 1.
Awesome. Well, any other points you want to make before we wrap it up?
That's it, man. Thanks, Maddie. You know, you're stellar member of the community. Appreciate all you do. Glad that we've been able to work with each other throughout the years and helping grow the community. In spite of all the things that we've been through, the 3-year bear market, the FUD before AOA, or the FUD after the AA, the community division, everything that's gone on, we're still standing here, still doing it, still willing to rock it. And, you know, my hat's off to you for that. And so glad we're all doing this together.
Yeah, likewise. Respect and thanks for all you're doing. And yeah, until next time, stick wisely, my friends, and peace out.
It's from Maddie Allen of Hex Therapy Live. I like Maddie. Maddie tries to make the world a healthier place. He's a mental health professional. He's done research. Big videos on sudden wealth syndrome. There's nothing that a human being can do better than try and heal his fellow man. Maddie Allen's got that covered. He does emotional, feel-good, mind management, emotion stuff, like, as his gig, because he's a therapist. That's what he does for a living. Like, he helps heal people.